Happy Pride Month continued. So Saturday was really interesting. Big, huge Pride event that went down. Of course, this is my unusual time for me to be doing this tonight. It's getting a little bit late over here, sorta. So I'm giving a huge shout out to my fellow LGBTQ friends, trans friends, and my fellow immigrants who are actually fighting a good fight. Sorry, my nose is a little itchy tonight. Not something I'm really looking forward to, but as you know, it's been a very long, grueling past May, with everything been going on in light of things prior to Pride Month, aka June. So I have to say something about one thing I will say is about my boy 8 Thoughts. Some of you who know him, follow him on his thing, you know, like on his videos, and have to give him a thumbs up for stating the truth, stating the obvious of what's going on. As far as like the Call of Duty games that he's done, or he said stuff about Fortnite, you know, I won't trash what he has said. I respect him more as a person. And that being on a sad note, you know, like I said, this is still Pride Month. It's going to continue until the end of this month. I believe it's the 30th or the 31st. Putting a huge shout out there was actually, you know, all the stuff that's going on. All the stuff we had to put up with over the course of time. And everything else in between. Things have been going like really crazy, really hectic. Really not too much going on. So, without that being said, being part of the LGBTQ community, it's fun, and noticing the non-LGBTQ allies, and the ones that aren't allied with the LGBTQ, the ones that are like the angry cis people driving around their freaking cars or SUVs, driving all pissed off and angry, you know, and where us LGBTQ community have a fun time, we have a party. During the event, though, I will say this, in Facebook, in the Norwalk event I went to, the party was, we went to a place called Troop 429, which is it's a local gay bar, and, for Pride Month, and in front of the building, on the glass, it had the Orlando victims. Their names were on the whole list. It talked about, it said Orlando, and it had the names of the people who have gotten shot in the Orlando shooting back in 2016. It's sad. It's sad that it had happened on that year, amongst everything else that went horribly wrong in 2016. To be perfectly honest with you, an event like this is not only just to celebrate our good fight, our everyday struggles, living through the day-to-day things, and it's like what the 8 Thoughts had said, whether if you're straight, gay, bi, lesbian, or whatever kind of, what lifestyle you live, or how you go about living it, it's all about just living it, whatever you feel comfortable with. So I was just reminiscing about the thing about the whole thing with the Orlando shootings. Not many of my friends who were there in Orlando, only one person I know who actually survived the shootings in 2016. Now it has come to, things here. I mean, when we had our Pride event, our party, Saturday night, I didn't, how do I put this? It didn't happen, like, when we had our party event, it didn't really happen, like, we didn't have anything happen to us, which is a blessing in disguise, which is really good. And just thinking back to the 2016 incident with the shooting out in Orlando, this is the stuff that every day, not so much like the transgender, not so much with the gay and lesbians, it's pretty much everybody in the spectrum, in the gay community, who every day have to fight, for our lives. It's not, and then you talk about these angry white cis people who think they're entitled to a Pride Month, but they haven't earned the right to have one because they haven't fought. And hearing about it, it's kind of like, well, a white cis person who gets everything for nothing, who has to not worry about fighting for their lives every day, and hearing the stuff that goes on, I mean, I heard the stuff that came from 8 Thoughts, the whole fiasco that had happened to him with his videos between, with Allie and whoever the other person was, and where 8 Thoughts is coming from on his videos is pretty much legit, precise to the point. I normally keep other people's videos and stuff out of the spotlight because I don't want to bring it up into my channel. Then you have that other problem where it's the he said, she said thing. And then just every day, it's what we have to deal with every day. We fight over tedious stuff that isn't relevant to what it should be. But then again, what's not relevant? So, even though this is a Pride Month continuation, it's been really interesting so far. We're only about a week away, week past already from when we had our big event. I'll be perfectly honest, I woke up the next day with a nasty hangover, which I did back in my 20s when I actually had to, well, in my early 20s I actually mixed drinks, and I kind of did that again, but woke up with a nasty hangover twice over, far worse than I did back when I was 23. Yeah, it's been really fun. Pride Month so far has been going good. Can't really complain. But it is what it is. It's Pride Month. Those who are the allies of the LGBTQ community would, are still celebrating it. I think Australia is doing it. I'm not 100% sure. I know all this shit that's been going on now. I know some people are going to be asking me questions. I've had one person already ask me a question. Well, yesterday, a friend of mine asked me a very important question, but it was nowhere near about Pride Month. It wasn't a topic I would normally generally care to talk about, but it was a very interesting question, and one of my friends in the community asked me, I said, now that everything I have for my legal documentation, where do I see the next 5 years? Meaning, like, with not so much the gay community, but for other communities out there. And I said, well, to be honest, every community is different. I can't give you an exact answer or anything like that, but every community is different, and I believe that every community, whether if it's gay or immigrants, whatever the case may be, every community is different, and every community has a right to be treated all equally. And my whole personal feelings is that for me, Pride Month, okay, I'll be perfectly honest here, to me, Pride Month is not so much about the lesbians, the gays, the trans, the bis, the pansexuals, the binaries. It's not so much about the gay community, it's more about the equality of everybody coming together, the ones that actually fought, or the ones that are still fighting for their equal rights. In my last video, when I posted up yesterday, I was just really in a foul mode. I did a thing on Monster Hunter World, and I talked about the equality and stuff like that, and my personal feelings are about everything that's been going on. With some people who may not be educated into, there's a small percentage that are not educated versus a percentage that's highly educated and knows about what's going on. And I'm not going to bring that back up. I'm not going to put any more fuel to the fire with what I'm about to say. My personal opinion about everything that's been going on, you know, whether if you're from another country that's watching this video right now, or you're in this country watching this video, my personal feelings about the whole equality thing here in this country, in, well, what I would call America, but I don't. The reason why I'm not calling this country America right now is because there's so much hate going on, not so much with the gay community, but also with the immigrants, you know, all the stuff that's been going on. And like I said in my last video yesterday, I actually touched up on some stuff there that I felt I had to say. And I had to do it rightly so, because, you know, at the end of the day, we're all human. Whether or not who's wrong, who's right, who's picking sides, I mean, I don't care what somebody does, but at least treat one another with the respect and equality. It doesn't matter whether they're gay, lesbian, trans, or even immigrants. You know, somebody's different. Just treat them with the respect. And shit, it's Pride Month. I mean, I'm like still enjoying a little bit of the Pride Month until by the end of the month. And then we go into July, which then again, that's a roller coaster on its own, because then we know by the time we get to July, we're almost going to be done with the year again. 2019 coming around the corner eventually, and I'm actually trying to show something for it. Unfortunately, it never tends to work out very good in my favor, or to anybody I know in their favor, so it's been a real interesting run. You know, my videos that I've made over the course of time, you know, I've made a lot of videos. You know, eventually there's going to be more. I do have a Patreon page, which, you know, like I said, it's $1. You know, if you want to support my Patreon page, you can. It'd be no more than like $1. Right now, still doing this thing with YouTube, you know, making the videos. Trying to make, you know, the money as necessary as I possibly can to pretty much like help with the support of things that are going on here. Come to really think about it, there is a thing I'm doing I think in November, December, every year. I actually run a little charity. Well, it's to give to the Salvation Army, people in need who don't have the money. You know, everybody knows the whole thing about, you know, the homeless people who also have to be treated just like how it is in Pride Month, with the same dignity and equality of those who are in need or who need help. But, you know, where it comes down to is, you know, with the fall coming, a lot of things are going on. There's going to be, like I said, for this Patreon page and the whole thing with the equality, the Patreon page is to help support not only just my videos, but also what the dollar towards my channel, or, you know, for Patreon goes towards that. It's not just only to support my channels or anything in that nature. It's to keep, you know, things going as far as like my YouTube channel, to make the extra income, to help support some of the people out there, the less fortunate, in pretty much to help them. I know this is not something I'm really going to say that, hey, look, you know, I'm not trying to like tell anybody, hey, look, you know, keep donating, because I'm not going to do that. But it's like I said, you know, Pride Month, equality, to my boy 8 Thoughts out there, if he's watching, you know, just understand, like, and we'll jump off of my topics of what I'm talking about. We'll jump right to 8 Thoughts here. Just want to give out a huge shout out to 8 Thoughts. He's doing the best he can, in spite of, like, you know, he had a hard time with his videos. Well, one video in particular, between, I think, some commotion between him, LEA, and Drifter. If some of you who know who Drifter is and LEA is. Well, the whole thing comes down to the whole Fortnite battle thing between those three. And I'm pretty much like, I watched the different videos between the three, and regardless who's wrong, who's right, at the end of the day, for me, it's like, I'm not picking on anybody on their channel. Like, I'm not going to take sides, say, well, Fortnite sucks. Because I won't do that. That's the same thing with people going, you know, with the new other game, what was it, PUBG and stuff like that. I don't like to criticize on somebody else's channel or anything like that. Not in that nature. Not in any nature. And, you know, and my boy 8 Thoughts, I think he does a good job, but I also think that, you know, for him being on the truthful side is really good, you know. I mean, maybe some people may not like Fortnite, or maybe some people may not like PUBG, or whatever the case may be. The games are games. I mean, everything's treated equally. But enough about 8 Thoughts, enough about LEA and Drifter and yada 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 down the line. $40 of a video game, and I am going to say this because it is such... Now, jumping off from what I'm about to say here is just going to be completely at random, so please bear with me. Which normally this always happens when I start doing these sort of things. But anyways, jumping back to equality, 8 Thoughts, and stuff like that. There's another description on the hashtag is everything else. Well, the everything else is very funny. I actually played the Dark Souls Remastered. Okay. I know what you're thinking. Why would somebody like me play Dark Souls Remastered? Well, I put it this way into a nutshell. When I was playing Dark Souls Remastered, I got to Sen's Fortress, okay? You know, oh, that's all fine, good. Okay, Sen's Fortress. But my biggest gripe is with this whole remaster thing is nothing but a sheer joke. I know what you're thinking. Why is it a sheer joke? Well, anyways, the sheer joke is, the moment you get to that little skinny platform, you got these other pendulums just swinging by, I think they could have just taken out those the pendulums at the very last part of the top where the other ones are, I mean, that's something they could have just taken away. Because what happened was, getting towards this fog door on the top floor before I can even think about it, I think it was a bonfire, but however, I got pushed off by those stupid pendulums, which I thought, and I sat back and thought, I'm like, okay, I got this far in Sen's Fortress, but the way it was set up, I felt like it was insulting. You know, I felt that the Dark Souls remaster was the biggest insult, and I don't know if I want to really say this, but the Dark Souls remaster to me was an insult. I think that was like one of the biggest insults. I mean, From Software fucking remastering it, but then again, the rumor was that From Software was refusing to do anything to it, so some other publisher, whoever it was, came and took the game and just kinda, got something in my eye, just kinda got to, like, touching up certain things, but, I mean, you're doing a remaster of Dark Souls, but it's not Dark Souls. And then what I mean by that, it's like, being a Dark Souls person and being a Dark Souls player, as you know, my older videos of me doing Slave Knight Gale, and had a couple of other videos of Dark Souls 2 that were tossed in the mix, I just found that, you know, playing the first one, it was like a huge insult. It was just too easy. I mean, it was a little too easy in some aspects, but just was no love, no feel. I kind of held off of playing God of War for quite some time because, I mean, don't get me wrong, I like God of War, but to me it's kind of like, I'm not even feeling God of War. I'm feeling like there's no love into God of War. But anyways, I'm just gonna leave it at this, you know, a 22-minute video for today, only because, you know, I'm kind of getting tired. I just want to post this out there. I know it's like a Tuesday night, nobody's really on, but with that being said, and me being extremely tired doesn't really help. But yeah, there's so much going on right now. Like I said, with this whole month of Pride, a friend of mine is actually, I'll make it quick, because a friend of mine is actually leaving the United States. I think from what I heard is she's denouncing her U.S. citizenship because she can't deal with what's going on. But then again, like I said, I'm stepping off to the side, and if anybody had, you know, if any of my friends have issues with that, I'm like, no, I'm done. Yes, and as you know, I am wearing my heart shorts, right here. The other one just kind of crawled up on me, but anyways, please check me out on my next video. Sorry, this one's a little short, within very good reason. So anyways, this is pretty much, hey Karina. So this is pretty much going to be it for me for tonight, the video. But I am going to say one thing, and I'm going to say it right now, because a certain individual who goes by the name of Karina, you need to get the Monster Hunter World. You better get it. I'm talking to you, Karina. Get Monster Hunter World and we can start gaming together. And don't you think that I caught you playing Call of Duty World War II? Hey, you. More like Cock-a-Doodie or Cock-a-Stinky. Call of Duty World War II stinks, and it's rotten in Denmark. So anyways, so that's pretty much covers everything for tonight. But yeah, so yeah, if you need to, check me out on Discord. There's some of you who don't know my Discord username, well, I'm like really out of it. My Discord username can be reached at Michelle1977, which is my Discord name. Feel free to look me up on there, and I think that pretty much covers everything on it. So, anyways, this is Michelle saying I'm going out for tonight. Well, I'm actually gonna get off and do what I need to do. But, like I said, do not spend the $40 on Dark Souls 1 because then you'll be gravely disappointed, which I have been. So, before I even say this, I have to say some. So apparently, a said person, I'm not gonna say who, was playing Call of Duty, World War II with her friends. You know how much I've heard about that one numerous times? Being as, I'm sorry, Karina, but I have to pick on you a little bit. It's a little payback for playing that game. Well, at some point, maybe one day, if I ever got, how do I put this? A little ambitious, but I highly doubt I'm going to be ambitious to play Call of Duty World War II again. And I'm actually pretty much all done with the Call of Duty series, because I think the Call of Duty series, to me anyways, is pretty much, well, dead. So that's pretty much just where I'm at with Call of Duty right now. World War II kind of like pushed it to a point where it's like, yeah, I'm done. If I want to play Call of Duty, I'll probably get World at War or Black Ops 1 or 2. And then again, with the Black Ops 2, I kind of got like more headshots with the Type 25 when I was actually signed up for the Call of Duty website, which was even freaking hilarious as hell. But then again, Call of Duty now has become part of the rumor of the Call of Duty series now is becoming more of a battle royale, therefore esports is going to be in there. See, that's what ruins Call of Duty now. We have this esports competition, and some of us who are veteran Call of Duty gamers would actually know that esports is the worst that would cause the death of Call of Duty. Anytime comes up. And before anybody tries to figure out what happened to the other games I had into my live streaming, first off, I'm going to put it out here. Deathwing, the game I had, Deathwing, that was made by, Space Hulk Deathwing, which was made by Warhammer. I'm going to tell you what exactly happened with that. I got bored with it, and I just happened to get rid of it. The same thing I did, I had Grand Theft Auto, got rid of it, got bored with it. Like a few games I've had, in the course of the time of my gaming and for live streaming, either A, I've beaten it, or I've gotten bored and just yunked it. So, anyways, I think that pretty much covers everything. As far as like my video goes tonight, I'm not really doing a whole hell of a lot right now, just kind of like gonna get ready to call it a night, and I think that's pretty much it. And then again, knowing me, I'll probably, who knows what. Anyways, so like I said, happy Pride Month, happy continuation of Pride Month, wow, I'm getting tired. Happy continuation of Pride Month, and, like I said, anybody who's different than you, respect, equality, and if you can't show that, then if you can't show the respect or equality, or you're not into helping somebody that's different than you, then you're kind of more not one of the, well, you can put the imagination together. I'm too tired of explaining it tonight. Anyway, so this is Michelle saying, I'm off for tonight. Probably be airing 100% on Friday night. Oh, this really sucks. So anyways, this is Michelle saying, I'm tired, I know. So anyways, this is Michelle saying good night. And check out my next video. I'm going to be airing another video, not tonight, or wait a minute, no. Not tomorrow night, but I think Friday night, I'll be airing another video. I just don't know what it is. I may jump back onto God of War. I don't know yet. Anyways, this is Michelle saying peace, love, happiness. And I'll catch you on the next video. Bye-bye.